Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite immature dad, a dad by God, 1/4 of the Ride Squad, Lexus King. This is my channel. New subscribers, hello, how you doing? Welcome, thank you for joining. This is my garage. In my garage, I keep a collection of my coveted vehicles. There are many things in this garage that I really do enjoy, except for one thing. Who knows what that one thing is, huh? 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 Can you see it? For those that got a keen eye, yes, you are correct. There is one motorcycle that's missing from this garage that I very well may have gotten rid of for good. And it sucks because I do like that bike, but there's one bike that replaced it that I don't like at all. I've actually got a bad streak with it right now. I really don't like it. You got it. You see, the only thing that ain't a Yamaha in here, that thing. Now, the history on this bike, shoddy, I don't know. I'm just literally working on it for a friend, but I am gonna stop working on people's bikes when they come in with unknown history and I can't really get good information out of them, because this bike just came for a simple spark plug change, which was fine. Bike was ridden all weekend, and then Sunday night, bike has a problem starting. Now, what looked like a dead battery, which possibly could still be, turned out that there seems to be some kind of short in the ignition, because the battery, it is charged, and it is fully charged actually. It's still doing something stupid, but when you put a voltmeter on it, it does test pretty high. This is why I don't like Kawasuckis, because it's always something about them, and it seems to be the same damn thing on all of them. We do recall the bike that I gave Fair and Aaron. His bike is still currently doing dumb shit. So then we get another white Kawasaki, and this one comes in with the same problems. And it's funny because when you don't touch anything on the bike, it's so puzzling as to how they have a problem. But I'm not even going to talk about that right now. Today, I just want to alleviate the stress that these things have been giving me, this one specifically, and I'm just going to do some sim racing, man. It's been a minute since I've done some sim racing. I have the setup there in my entertainment room. We're going to go ahead and jump on that thing as I close down this garage, and we're going to go ahead into the game room. For those that are new to the channel, this is my game room where I do a whole lot of sim racing. This is also the background and everything for the podcast that I had everything set up here. I got those marks up on the wall so I could frame the camera so that those marks are just out of screen, and that's how I kept my positioning proper. But anyway, multimedia center, it's got all kind of shit, and this is the sim rigs that I really love and enjoy playing a whole lot of sim races with, and I live stream on. So I actually do live stream, but I technically don't live stream through this YouTube channel. So typically, as I do live stream, I live stream on Twitch. My Twitch channel can be found below in the description. If you do feel like seeing some live streams of certain games that I do have, you just put it in a request. I probably already have it, as long as it's driving, riding, or flying. And I can go ahead and jump on Twitch and we can chop it up and give me a reason to actually use my Twitch channel in a proper manner. You can find the link down in the description for my Twitch channel. This area is where I simulate my driving. The back road videos are pretty dope because I used to terrorize back roads back in the day. I don't anymore. As you can see from those videos, it is fairly dangerous. There's a high chance of risking them. Typically, if you're the leading car, you set and dictate the pace. Sometimes, especially now after Initial D, a lot of the younger kids, that's what they grew up on, and they really go hard because they want to simulate Initial D a little bit. That's where you get people that cross over the yellow line. That's not a bad thing. It's just a risky thing, right? That kind of shit happens. I've had some guys in another group telling me, oh, dude, you're crossing over the yellow line. What if some motorcyclist is coming around that corner and you're over the yellow line? 9 times out of 10, I've been that motorcyclist that's coming around the corner and is crossing over the yellow line. When you ride back roads, you understand that. That's kind of a unwritten clause. It's not safe back there, right? Especially if you're going to haul ass. If there's cars back there doing it moving, there's a very high chance you're going to get hit. And if you're a car that's back there doing it moving and you decide, especially in a leading position of just a nice spirited drive, if you decide to go over the double yellow line, you're putting a lot of people at risk. Some people didn't notice. Some people don't care to notice. But there was space that was always given. There was never a point, even though we was fully capable of doing it, there was never a point that we ran up, neither myself or my boy Jay ran up in dude's bumper in a corner that made him feel like he had to keep pushing it. I would do that on the straightaway. I think I put one clip in of that. I ran up on his bumper in the straightaway, and then I would back off about a car length or two going through the corner. So we liked to keep like a 4 to 5 car length buffer, but the GoPros with the really wide angle camera, it didn't nearly represent the distance that we were to them properly. I would say sometimes it looked too far, sometimes it looked too close, but it was usually a 4 to 5 car buffer. Anyway, long story short, back roads happen. But getting the back road talent that I had back in the day, that's able to stay refreshed from sim racing. A lot of the sim activities, a lot of ways that I drive on sims is a lot of the ways that I drove in the back roads for real, and I still drive now. We're gonna jump on the sims. I'm gonna run a few tracks. I'm just gonna show you segments, few little segments that I really enjoy on those tracks that give me like the feel of the back road, the actual toge, things like that. Just keep in mind as we're driving here on the sim, we're gonna do it in VR. Enough of the talking. Let's jump right into the sims. We're gonna use this Viper because for whatever reason, I have just really been loving Vipers the last couple days. So this is a pretty good portion. This starts like the good segment for me. You know, there's always like a bit of a straightaway, and then you go into some nice turns off cameras and on cameras and shit like that in the back roads. This just always reminds me of like one of the dopest segments of back roads you can come up on. So this is where the fun really begins, right here. If this was the RX-8, it would have bottomed the hell out. Real close up on the wall, fly over here. This is like a blind ass corner, of course. You just stay flat out and trust it. I love this segment here because it really makes you feel like you're doing a whole lot when you get it right. Really wide, a little bit of slide. Nice steering back at it, a little clutch kick, come out sideways, that is the shit. And this kind of ends it right here. This part right here, there's two sections on this track that I really enjoy. So that part starting from the GP coming into this section, I really love this part, and I'll show you where it ends at. Like, if you can keep your momentum and your pace up, the intensity is like no other. Woo! This Viper really makes it good. The VR just adds the element that you really need. That's the disconnecting factor from like games in real life. Having the VR so I can just look around and everything that I need to see, everything that I need to spot for visual references, this is what makes this shit amazing, and I'm not risking my life. And we're gonna stay kind of flat out here, but we did drop a gear. Love this shit right here. And so as you all can see, I do get easily excited while driving, but it's because I love driving so much. And we're going flat out. This is about 160 miles an hour. We just hit 5th, but we're gonna go light on the brakes and then flat out and stay inside here. Heavy brakes here, but then we're gonna roll off so that the car gets steadied, and then we just get back on throttle. All you really are looking for is the steering wheel response and the brake pedal response. So as we come up right here, hug the right side, brake hard, and then roll off flat out, because we just gotta bang the limiter to make it be tight. And this just kind of ends the first section and segment I love with Nürburgring. So let's jump on to the next one. All right, so the next good section that I really enjoy, even though there's a ton of good sections here, starts right after the carousel. But I'm just gonna add the carousel in because it's just the sickest, most noticeable portion of Nürburgring. But right here, this is the part. Oh God, I love this. You can just send it full throttle until right here, brake, come inside, get a little sideways and make an early turn, hitting apex there, and then dip right down. You just set it up perfectly. No shifting because we got the big torque. This part right here is where it starts to really get good. And I'm a rhythm person, so the rhythm here is amazing. And just nice cut right there. Dip in, go right over the apex to the second portion of it. use all the track. We're going to downshift here just to keep it tidy. I'm not going for any record laps, just having a blast. We're going to cut right across the grass in that brown zone. Perfect. That is the shit. And this is still going, but I just wanted to let you know that that was the shit, if you didn't already know. But just this segment right here, man, it's so good. Nice clutch kick, come over the crest, this whatever, man. And now coming down into here, this is the shit. Heavy brake zone right over the crest here, and I brake to use the suspension compression right out on the apron. Sideways, we're still flat out, it doesn't matter. This section of track is so good. These nice blind corners that you don't know they're there unless you got the experience for it. And this is one of the best ways to learn any track, and that ends the section that I really find is the most fun. The second section I find is the most fun. Now, Alsace or Alsace or whatever the hell this village is called is a huge no for me. Throw the whole track away. But this portion of track should be protected because it's amazing starting here at this corner. If you just keep your momentum real big going into this hairpin, it's the most tasking level of slow down, speed change, and direction change as possible. We're down to first gear using every ounce of the track. Turn it in early and tight and you would be able to stay flat out. Well, I kind of feathered third because this Viper's kind of torquey. But as you crest this hill down to a blind corner, it's amazing. This portion, because like I said, the slowdowns are big. And you're coming from big speed, big momentum, turn it in tight again right here. And bam, you just go across the start finish. So the rest of the track, trash, but this right here is great. Being a resident of California and driven this track quite a few times, the fun part definitely starts right here. And I really took the RX-8 to its limits for the first time at this track, and that's for this segment right here. Hard acceleration right down into a braking zone right here and roll in. You just let it coast and just stand on throttle to this blind corner and just hug it tight and just have faith it's gonna stick. And that segment there is super cool. Real short segment of track, but there is also another track on the property that is called Streets of Willow that I'm gonna show you another segment at. Here's Streets of Willow, and it's literally right across the parking lot from Big Willow. And they luckily start one of my favorite portions of the track right at the beginning. I've logged more laps on this track and more days on this track in real life than I have on any other track in real life. This is the high speed into a quick breakdown hairpin at the top of a hill. You're going up the hill and experience a lot of G-forces. Then you go down the hill and the car just gets light because it wants to slide out right here. But taking it wide and then over to this shoulder and across is what I found to be the best way through here, especially drifting. These portions going into the bowl, which one is my favorite portions of track because it loads the G-forces up. Right here is really a nice tilted bowl. We're offline, but it's all good. Going in here high, and then I bring it down low to the shoulder. Such a cool portion of track, very unique, and one that really I've only seen here at Willow Springs. Breaking this down is such a challenge right here, even though this is the majority of the track, but that segment just doesn't take any time at all, and you can just fly right through it. A nice drop of tire never hurt anybody, and it doesn't hurt your lap times here. And I'm just gonna come around spinning tire as we look at the Toyota Tower, and that is it for the segment. Now, as we end out this little portion with a nice dusk run that we're gonna have here at Spa, the portion that I'm really infatuated with comes right at the end of this straightaway. Scenery's looking good, it's really good lighting, you can see some sun rays, but the portion I like really starts right in this braking zone. Brake big, hang this tight hairpin, get on the throttle early, outer, and run it straight to the wall here on the right side. Is really tight, especially given the time of day, because you can see the lights refracting off. Hey, look at that shit, it looks amazing. And I can't do it like I do GT3s, but we're going to give a little dab and a downshift and stay flat out. A little bit of slide without having aero. That's probably about the best that I can conjure up real quick, just jumping right on it. We're just going to put it in fifth just to get some big speed. We're coming down off of one of the biggest straightaways of the track, right into the braking zone. When you get it good, run right on the apron, straight to the next portion as we're looking through using the love of VR. Come right over this apron flat out. And as we're going downhill, definitely reminds me of back roads as we go into a braking zone. Go a little bit wide, but we're taking it right back to the apron so I can dash straight out of here and just roll over. Whoa, got a little sideways. But that ended up pretty dope. It worked out pretty good. And heavy brakes here, back on throttle. Apron to outer apron. Oh, that went a little wider than I wanted to, but just for the sake of video, we're just gonna keep it rolling. As I said, I'm trying to do most of these in one take. Big brakes here, roll in, nice apron, knock over those little green delineators. The sunset over in the back looks amazing. Come out a little bit sideways. Now I'm gonna brake hard right here and cut right over the apron. These cuts are tight to me because they set you up really good. And that just there ends the segment because the rest is pretty much all big race car shit. So those are the best portions of track that I like, that have really good flow and rhythm. If you knock them out real good, you're having a great time. They're really rewarding when you get it done right. Whoa! I took a little bit more speed than I wanted to, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, using a little bit of sim racing so that I can show you like my interest in flow of track. And it's not really about lap time on me, it's just about the enjoyment. So find a car that you really like to drive, jump on any sim racing platform, and have a damnedest time. So now, as you saw all the driving that I can do and I have done and I will do on all the different games that I have, I mean, I can always simulate any experience with Project Cars, with Gran Turismo. I have all the Assetto Corsas, regular standard Assetto Corsa, which I do have disc form. You got that right there. But then we also have Assetto Corsa Ultimate Edition, which is the same damn game, but it just has all DLC added on it. And I also have Assetto Corsa Competizione. I can do any kind of driving at any time that I want to. The thing that I really wish there was a quote-unquote simulation for, which is really not, is motorcycles, right? There's no way that I can emulate the type of riding that I like to do. But given the fact that I am a motorcycle fiend, I have Ride 3, I have Ride 2, I have Original Ride, and Ride 4 will be out in October, so I'll have Ride 4 as well. I can't do any simulation type of riding. I can only go out and really jam. It's really just a mentality thing to me because I get to mentally go through the paces on these games, and then when I go and actually ride or actually drive, those same thought processes are in my head. Really cool little video to shoot. I mean, it's Tuesday. It's going to effectively be Wednesday as this goes up, 9:15. I'm glad y'all joined me. I'm going to check y'all on another experience. I'm going to give y'all two and we out.